creates kind of a kickstand. That keeps him from getting rolled over. Also, this knee comes down, keeps him from getting kneed in the cojones. Very handy thing to have. This bridging will keep you from getting the guy rolling on top of you. The next thing I want to cover is if the guy does get on top of you. There's a thing, it's kind of a strange term, but they also use bridging in another manner. And what that is that you actually arch up and lift the guy off you. This is accomplished by getting your feet up underneath you and then arcing your body up. So that's where the term bridging comes from. It's a sudden, harsh jerk, and you throw the guy forward. Now, there's a couple of ways to do this. One is you grab him, grab one of his arms, pull it and bridge, and he falls off to the angle. And the other one is a much more harsh manner. So the first type of bridging is that he's on me like this, and I control one hand, pull him this way, bridge up, and throw him off me. Okay, back up. The other type of bridging is you grab both of his hands, and I'm not going to do it fast because it will really hurt him, but you grab both of his hands like this and peel them down when you bridge. Obviously, he's got no way to catch himself as he goes face first. Now, this bridging action is something that you need to exercise. You need to go out and go to the gym and work on. Because if you don't, you're going to throw him forward, and all that's going to happen is he'll slide forward up here. And in that situation, you're left with the choice of, well, the only way to get him off is to bite him in the crotch. And I don't think we want to go there. So it's your call as to which is worse, exercise or. You don't want to stay on the ground with the guy rolling around because his friends will start doing a polka on your face. The best thing to do to keep yourself from getting hurt is to stop him from punching you, number one. And that can be achieved by simply placing your hand on the inside of his upper arm. So he can try and punch, but you got him pretty well jammed. The problem with that, though, is that if you push him away, it's not going to do much good. The better way to push him away is from his shoulder. You just shove. He'll roll away. Use that energy from your shove to roll you this way too. Now, if you have him cut here, if he's really trying to pop you, you can use this hand to catch his shoulder and get him going too. That'll work. An easier way, though, is if he's trying to attack you from with this hand, you take your hand, slide it up to his shoulder, and just roll him over. And again, the same action you use to push him away, you're using to get yourself out of there. Animals important safety tip number 4. The best way to keep from getting hurt is to affect his ability to hurt you. Now this may sound really obvious, but it goes a whole lot deeper than most people think it is. He can be sitting there throwing punches, and I'll block his punches all day long. And I do nothing to keep him from throwing further punches. However, if I somehow affect his ability to throw a punch at me or to throw a kick at me, I am safer than if I spend all my time blocking. I don't want to waste my time blocking. I want to instead get inside and do something that will keep him from being able to hurt me. Whether that means checking his arm, whether it means spinning him away, or making sure that he hits first and I skewer him on the way down and he's so much in pain that he can't fight. The idea is to affect his ability to hurt you. Until now, we've been mostly defensive in what we've been working with. However, I also want to point out that on the floor, you can be offensive too. The problem is that when you're down here, you don't really have much punching power because you can't get your body weight behind it. So you can get a punch, but you won't be doing much good. From here, however, what you can do is deliver what I call the slap blocks, which are pretty hard, impact, and most of it comes from here. I've gone into these elsewhere, other tapes, it was in my knife videos. You can pick that up, learn how to deliver them. It's a really effective, hard strike. You can do a lot of energy in that. The other thing that is really good is elbows. Elbows, you have to commit a little more body weight, but you can drop in a lot of power there. Punches aren't really good, but that and that work. Now, what would make these most effective is if you work on the vital targeting. You hit certain areas and you can cause major pain with these. An elbow shot to behind the jaw right here underneath the ear causes a major shock. It's a very painful area. You can take and gouge your finger in there and you'll find out how much it hurts. An impact there is very painful. Elbow, upward elbow is a very powerful strike on the ground. You can bring that up, bring it into the guy's solar plexus. A side elbow into his short ribs takes the guy's air away. These motions, a slap block right here onto his face, take his nose. These motions carry a lot more clout in the limited area that you have to strike with. There's a wide variety of nasty things you can do if you know how the human body is put together. Gouges with the knuckles, the thumb, in the ears, all the pain control spots. You do an eye gouge, you stick your finger in the guy's eye, odds are he'll begin to break away. When you do these moves, understand it's to get him away, to cause pain so you can escape. The other really good technique for this sort of situation is the headbutt. Now, a headbutt on the ground is a little different than a headbutt on your feet. What you're doing is that you are still using your body weight to get your impact with, but it's sort of slowed down, so a lot more work has to be done with the neck. Now, be very careful about doing these things, and I highly recommend that you practice it. Get some sort of pad, etc., and be very careful, work slow, work your way up. But the first thing you do is you start your body moving forward, cock your head back a little, and as you move your body forward, snap your head a little forward. Best place to aim is not to his forehead, but rather to the lower side of his face. This, if you hit it right, you'll cause major breakage across his nose, etc. It's a real simple move, but like I said, you have to practice it. Give me a little more brace here. Now, that could be enough of an impact to stun him so you can get away. Another important thing to know about getting away from the guy is that you get to use your legs too. You can use your hands to roll the guy or start rolling him, but by using your legs, you can get that extra oomph. Now, I was referring to when you're down on the ground, keeping your knee down here to protect yourself. Well, it can also be used as an offensive weapon. However, if once you've headbutted the guy, he's stunned, you put your hand in the position I told you, put your feet here, you can then use it to kick off. Not only are you more likely to send him flying by using your legs than just your hands, but you can also get yourself moving up and away faster. There's two main floor fighting positions that you can assume. The first one is the more traditional down like this. That's a good position. It's very handy for a variety of reasons. What it does is it keeps my opponent away from me. I can make his life real miserable. And also, for the moment that you have just hit the floor, it's really good because when you hit the floor and come down and he comes down to follow you, boom. You can catch his attention, keep him away from you. The problem inherent with this stance is that it isn't good against multiple attackers. Say I'm laying here and I'm taking care of him, I'm vulnerable, boom, to an attack from the side. However, for the second that you hit the floor, it's really good, especially if his backup is beginning to deploy. From this position, however, your next shift is this. Now this looks kind of strange, and the first time I saw it I thought, well, that's kind of mets. This technique here, I can keep him away, and I can give his knees, I can give his ankles, I can give his groin all sorts of grief. What's really good about this position, however, is from here, I can also deal better with multiple attackers, because my hands are up. I'm protected, boom, I've covered my vital areas. Another advantage of this position is that unlike this, where I'm only kicking off my bottom leg, if I need to get away, which I do, say there's a table behind me, from this, I can use both feet and my arms to scuttle away. So I can much quicker. So learn these two positions. They're really important. Know when to shift from this to this. Now we come to another important issue, and that's getting up. How we get up has a lot to do with whether or not somebody turns our kidneys into guacamole. Most people, when they've gone down to the ground, get up the way that they normally do, which is the hands and knees. This is not a good position. The individual thinks, well, I'll just, kind of lever myself up. No. Number one, it ties up both your hands and your knees and leaves you open for attacks this way. If you're trying to get up, it's real easy to do that. It is also, unfortunately, real easy for somebody just to push you down this way. Makes it much too complicated. What you need in order to have a good preparatory position is a situation, and it can change, but the requirements are, it leaves your hands open. This way you can fend off any incoming attacks, and at least puts you in a position where you can get one foot underneath you and lever up. So from here, he can still defend himself, but he can get up forward, or down here. He can go back. Now the other preparatory positions can be something as simple as you're down, you come up, you put a foot directly underneath you. Doesn't matter how you do it, as long as you get a foot that you can rock it up on. Okay, that's important, and also notice that my hands are always free, so I'm not using my hands to get myself up. I'm using my legs. That is what you need to do. Rock yourself up into an upright position. Animals important safety tip number 5. A good goal to have is to get up as fast as you went down. When you go to the ground, especially in a room full of people, your goal changes. Forget tearing the guy up. Now it's time to focus on getting back up to your feet, getting off the ground as fast as you can, especially in a situation where there's alcohol involved, because a room full of drunks are really fickle. You never know whose teeth they'll decide to kick in. Let's talk about the worst case scenario. That means you're down on the ground, you're surrounded by guys, and they're kicking you. You aren't in a position where you can crab out underneath the table or get away. You're just there and you're stuck. Now, this is not a good situation because no matter which way you turn, you're exposed to somebody. He's kicking me here, he's kicking me here, I roll over the fence, and it's reversed. Doesn't do me any good. Now, a lot of people from this situation try and get out by literally just tackling the guy. What they try and do is rear up and tackle him. All the guy's got to do is step back. Makes it difficult. Even if I do grab a hold of him, all I'm doing is pulling down on him. Remember his stance, gravity, and all that? He's pushing up, so that's not good. If I even push him though, all he does is step back, braces, reestablishes his cone of balance. Doesn't do me any good. Now, here's something that's kind of counterinstinctive. Most people, when they're down on the ground, say, cover the cojones, cover the ribs, cover etc., etc. No. Cover your head. Most important thing to protect is your head. The way to take somebody out from this situation, or the way to escape from this, is that you have to take somebody out, create a hole, and rabbit through it. So if I'm down on the ground, who am I going to take out? I'm going to take out the guy who's attacking my head. He's closer. Why don't you get in position? So, for safety's sake, we're not going to do this all the way, but what you want to do is, as he's kicking to the head, catch. Once you have him caught, you have him trapped, begin to roll. As you roll, you take him over backwards. Now let me point something out to you. There's no good way to fall from this position. This is going to be a hard hit. There's a very good chance this guy's going to hit, crack his head. This could be a lethal move. So before you do it, before you even consider doing it, you make sure that your life is in danger, because you will be up on potential murder charges on this one. That's a nasty truth. Multiple guys on the ground. Depends on what state you're in as to whether or not they say, well, they weren't trying to kill him. But you will be facing charges if you take somebody down hard this way. There are a lot of things that I could have covered in this video, but most of what people teach on the subject of floor fighting is techniques. What I wanted to cover were certain fundamentals that apply anywhere, anytime. If you learn these fundamental principles, you can apply them any situation you find yourself in. Remember, train for what is most likely to happen. That way, whatever comes your way, you'll be able to handle it. And if it isn't something that you've trained for, well, with the fundamentals under your belt, with a good solid understanding, you'll be able to wing it. If you train to handle what happens most often, you'll be able to handle what happens before you do it. Before you even consider doing it, you make sure that your life is in danger, because you will be up on potential murder charges on this one. I veer from potential